everyone and welcome to this tutorial. In this section, you will learn the straight line method of depreciation. What is straight line method of depreciation? Now, the straight line method of depreciation is otherwise called uh, fixed installments method, or it is called uniform method. That is, when you hear straight line method, depreciation and I mean fixed installment method or uniform method, they mean the same thing and it should not confuse you. So that straight line method is the same thing as fixed installment method. It's also called um, uniform method. That is to say, they have three names: the straight line method, or fixed installment method, otherwise called uniform method. This method of calculating depreciation assumes equal amount of depreciation charge every month. Every year. This method assumes equal amount of depreciation charge for every year. Equal depreciation charge for every year. That means in each year, the depreciation charge will remain the same. It don't change. That is why it is called straight line method, and that is why it is called fixed installment method, and that is why it is called uniform method. They don't change. They remain the same. If the lifespan is 5 years, each year has the same amount of depreciation. We want to look at the formula for calculating the straight line method. There are two formulas. We take the first one. The first one says depreciation is equals to cost minus scrap value over useful life. That one is the one that is used in calculating depreciation when the cost is known, the scrap value is known, and uh, the useful life is known. And it's given as D is equal to C minus S over L, where D is equal to depreciation, then C is equal to cost of the X is the scrap value or the residual value, while X is the scrap value or the residual value, while L is the estimated useful life or the lifespan. Having known that, we will take example. Example 1. Example 1. Example 1. A machine which cost $80,000 has expected life of 80 years. A machine which cost $10 has expected life of 8 years and a scrap value of $240. Calculate the depreciation provision per annum. Solution. We can quote the formula C is equals to S over L. That is depreciation is equal to C minus S over L. where the cost is $10,000, and the lifespan is 8 years, and the scrap value is $24. Then we fix this value in the place of the variables, and we will work them out. In this case, the cost of the non-current asset is $10,000. The scrap value is 8 years, while uh, the scrap value is 240, while the lifespan is 8 years. C is equals to 10,000, L is equals to 8, and S is equals to 240. It becomes 10,000 minus 240 over 8. 10,000 minus 240 over 8 according to the formula. Now D now is equals to 9760 over 8. 10,000 minus 240 gives you 9760 over 8. And D is equal to $1,220 per annum. That is the depreciation figure. Example 2. Example 2 reads, on January 1st, 2024, Oil Field Transport Limited acquired a plant for 500 million naira. Okay, 500 million dollar. The plant has estimated useful life of 5 years with a salvage value of $10 million. You are required to calculate 1. Annual depreciation charge. 2. Accumulated depreciation for each year. 3. The net book value at the end of 2028 using the straight line method. Now, we are to calculate 3 things here. So, now in this question, the cost is 500 million and the scrap value is 10 million, while the useful life is 5 years. The first thing we will do is to calculate the depreciation per annum, which is D is equals to C minus X over L. And in this case, the 500 million minus 10 million over 5. 500 million minus 10 million will give you 490 million over 5. 590 million over 5. And 590 million over 5 will eventually give you 998,000 or 900 and 98 million. Now that is the solution to question 1. The question 1 there says calculate annual depreciation charge, and the annual depreciation charge now is 98,000. Now what we are going to do next is to do what is called the non-current asset schedule. We'll talk about the year and the beginning book value, the beginning book value. Then we talk about the depreciation, then the accumulated depreciation for each year, and the last one column there is the closing book value. The closing book value. So from January 2024, so the first year is 2024, and the book value is 500 million, now 500,000, and the depreciation in the first year is 98,000, and the accumulated depreciation in the first year is 98,000. Now, the net book value is 500 million minus 98,000, which is going to be 402,000. Now, 2025, the beginning book value for 25 is 205,000, and the depreciation is the same thing because it's a uniform rate, which is 98,000. Then the accumulated depreciation, which is 98,000 plus 98,000, is 196,000, and the closing book value is 304,000. The next year is 2026, and the beginning book value is 304,000. Depreciation remains the same, 98,000. Accumulated depreciation is 98,000 plus 98,000 plus 98,000, which is 294,000. And the closing book value is 206,000. Now, the next year is at 2027. And the beginning book value is 206,000. And the depreciation is 98,000. And the accumulated depreciation is 292,000. While the carrying down value or the closing book value is 108,000. Now, in the last year, which is 2028, uh, the, the beginning book value is 108,000. 2028, the beginning book value is 108,000, and the depreciation remains the same. It's a uniform charge, which is 98,000. The accumulated depreciation become 98,000 times 5, which is 490,000, and the closing book value become 10,000 or 10 million according to the question. 2027 opening value 206,000, and 2028 depreciation also remain 98,000. Now, listen, the closing book value for 20 the closing book value for 2024 is the beginning book value for 2025, and the closing book value for 2024, which is 304,000, is the beginning book value of 2026. In the same vein, the closing book value for 2026, which is 206, is the beginning book value for 2027. As you can see also, the closing book value of the, the closing book value of 2027, which is 108,000, is the beginning book value of 2028. Yes, the beginning book value of 2028. That is 108,000. The depreciation, the next question say, uh, accumulated depreciation for each year. The first year accumulated depreciation is 98,000, and the second year it is 196,000. The third year 294,000, At the fourth year, the accumulated depreciation is 392,000, and in the fifth year, the accumulated depreciation is 490,000. The question number two is answered. Now, the next question, the net book value at the end of 2028 is that 10,000, as as it is in the question that the salvage value is 10 million. So the net book value is 10 million. Now we want to take a look at the second formula, which is formula 2. The formula 2 says depreciation is equal to rate into cost minus salvage value. That is depreciation is equal to rate into C minus S, where R, and that you use this formula when the rate is given, when the depreciation rate is given and what percentage. In this formula, D stands for depreciation, R stands for the rates, then C stands for the cost of the non-current asset, R is for the rate, and S is the scrap value or the salvage value. Let's take example 1. A machine costing $9,000 has an estimated scrap value of $900, and its depreciation it is depreciated at 10% per annum. Using the uniform method, what is the depreciation charge for the second year? Now, what is the depreciation charge for the second year? The machine cost is $9,000 and the scrap value is $900, and the depreciation rate is given in percentage 10,000 naira. We just say D depreciation is equal to 10% cost minus scrap into cost minus scrap value, and we get it outright. So let's go and solve it. Solution now is C is equal to 9,000, S is equal to 900, and the rate is 10%. It becomes D is equal to 10%. 10% is converted into decimal there. 10% will be converted to decimal. That's 10% is going to be as 0.1. That is equal to D is equal to 0.1 into 900 minus 9,000 minus 900. This will give you 0.1 times 8,910, and 0.1 times 8,910 will give you 810, and that is the depreciation per annum. Example 2. Example 2. It says a piece of equipment costing £120 was purchased on the 1st of January 1996. Depreciation was provided at 20% per annum on a straight line basis. It was sold on 30th June 1999 for £31,500. The net book value of the pieces of equipment at the time of sale was, yes, this question is asking us about the net book value as at the time of sales. So let us first of all compute the depreciation. Then later we go and prepare the non-current assets schedule to determine the, the net value as at the time of sales. So In this question, the cost now is 120,000 and uh, the scrap value is not given. The only value that was given is the sales value. So it's going to be 0.2 times 120 minus 0. Since the scrap value, the estimated useful life is not given, we don't assume that the estimated useful life is 31,500. No. So it becomes 0.2 times 120. Uh, and this one now will give us 24,000. So depreciation per annum is 24,000. Note that 1 January 1996 to 30th June 1999 is just 6 months. It's just 6 months. So let us try to solve it. Now we are going to prepare the schedule, uh, the year, the year, the cost, then the depreciation, the accumulated depreciation, then the net book value, MBV. Now, the first year is, say, 1999, 1996. At the cost of the non-current asset is 120,000 pounds. And depreciation already calculated is 24,000 pounds. Then the accumulated depreciation for the first year is 24,000. And the net book value for the first year is 120,000 minus 24,000, which is 96,000. So the net book value for the first year is 96,000. 1997, the cost become 96,000 and the depreciation remain 24,000. Accumulated depreciation become 48,000, while the net book value become 96,000 minus 24,000, which is 72,000. Now in 1998, the beginning book value becomes 72,000. Depreciation remained the same, 24,000. And the accumulated depreciation become 72,000, while the net book value becomes 48,000. And 1999, the year of sales 1999, it was sold June. It is 6 month period. It was only used 6 month period. So we are going to recognize this in charging depreciation. Book value is 48,000. Depreciation is 24,000 divided by 2, which is 12,000. And accumulated depreciation now becomes 84,000, while the net book value as at the time of sales becomes 36,000. And that is the question they asked us to find. The net book value as at the time of sales is what? 36,000. That is the value we are asked to find. Now, the asset was valued 36,000 as at the time of sales, but it was sold 31,500. That means there was a loss. If they have sold it 36,000 naira, then there was no loss. There's no loss. but they sold it lesser than its net book value. So there is a loss, and the loss is 36,000 minus 31,500, which is the cost that is sold the value, and that the loss now becomes 5,000 5,100. The loss become 5,100. The loss become 5,100. The net book value at the time of sales is 36,000, making a loss of 36,000 minus 31,500, and the loss becomes 5,100 pounds. Now we are going to take classwork. We are going to do classwork. This classwork is going to be done by the 10 students in the class. Each of these questions will take only 60 seconds, that is 1 minute. Immediately after 1 minute, the question goes, another question comes. Immediately after 60 seconds, then the first four participants that submit their result, their work will be marked. And thereafter, we proceed to other question. So we are not going to take more than 5 students that are going to assess. Immediately the time is up, you pens up and submit your answer. Those people in the class now are to participate in this class practice. And those of you viewing me will also participate. And let us make it engaging. So these are the questions. The first question comes. Class practice, the first question is, question 1. Question 1. And it reads, a firm bought ladder machine for 45,600 on 1st January 2015. The lifespan was estimated to be 20 years, while scrap at the end of the period was valued at 1,600. It was to be depreciated by the fixed installment method. The depreciation per annum is, your time start now. Your time start now. We are not going to assess more than 4 students. The first 4 students to submit will be marked. Then we move on to the person. Submit your work. Francis, Momo, Monica, and Casimir. That's all. Then let us mark them. The answer is C. Francis, C, that's correct. And Momo, C, that's correct. Monica, C, that's correct. And Casimir, C. That means the answer is C, and the answer is 2,220. Now let us just go through it. Cost minus scrap value over useful life, which is 4,000 over 20, and that eventually gives us 22,200, and that is all. Next question. Next question reads, on 1 April 2015, Koch Limited purchased a generator for 500,000. The generator has an estimated useful life of 5 years with a salvage value of 100,000. Given that the accounting year ends in 31 December each year, and the generator was sold for 250,000 on 31st December 2015. Calculate the accumulated depreciation on the generator as at 31st December 2016 using the straight line method. Your time begins now. The time is just 1 minute to do the calculation and give us your answer. The time begins now. If I have a wing like a dove, I will fly, fly away. My love is waiting for me. If I have a wing like a dove, if I have a wing like a dove, I will fly, fly away over the mountain, over the scholars are waiting for me. If I have a wing like a dove, if I have a pencil. Monica C, Francis C, Abdul C, and Momo D. That's all. Then let us see Monica C, Abdul wrong, C, and Momo wrong. So let us try and see what happened. Scrap cost minus scrap value over useful years, which is 5,000, and that's give you 400 divided by 5, which is 80,000. So the depreciation for 1 year is 80,000. So what we're asked to find the accumulated depreciation as at the time of sale, and we will do this by getting the fixed asset schedule, which is year cost depreciation, then uh, accumulated depreciation, then the closing book value. The first year, which is 2015, the non-current asset was bought April 1st, and April 1st to December 31st is just 9 months. So the depreciation we are going to put here is the depreciation for only what? 9 months. And since we have gotten the annual depreciation for 1 year, which is equal to 80 per annum, so the depreciation for 9 months is going to be 9 over 12 times 80, and that will give us what? 60. So the depreciation for the first year is what? 60. Depreciation and the cost and depreciation is 60. That is how we got it 60. Accumulated depreciation for the first year is 60, and the net book balance for the first year is, we are not required to find that, so we are just in one they ask us to find. The next year is 400,000, and accumulated depreciation is 80, and the accumulated depreciation for this next year is 140. So the accumulated depreciation, which is what we're asked to find, is 180. 180. We're not asked to calculate the book value, so that is why we just calculate the accumulated depreciation for the second year. Now, the next question, uh, which is question number 4. Question number 4 reads, a plant bought for 35,000 naira was estimated to have a lifespan of 5 years with a scrap value of 9,000. If the scrap value is presently 15,000, what will be the yearly depreciation using uniform method of what depreciation? Your time begins now. I will fly, fly away over the mountain, over the valley. Scholars are waiting for me. If I have a wing like a dove, if I have a wing like a dove, I will fly, fly away. Mm, 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 mm. Fly away. Oh. Pens up. Submit your work. Monica A. Francis A. Momo C. And Kashmir A. Now let us see. A is the answer. Francis A. And Momo C. Wrong. Got it wrong. We have to find out why. Then Kashmir A. That is correct. Now let us take a critical look at the question. Now, in this question, we have the scrap value that is estimated. Scrap value is estimated to have a lifespan of 5 years with a scrap value of 9,000. And they say if the scrap value is presently 15,000, that is where the confusion is. You will not use the scrap value, the previous scrap value. You will use the present scrap value, and the present scrap value is 15. And probably that is why Momo I did not get it. Momo used 9,000 at the scrap value. So in this question, you are learning that if there are two scrap value, you use the current scrap value. So it's supposed to be 35,000 minus 15,000 over 5. When you use this, you will get it 4,000. And this equals to 35,000 minus 9,000. You are going to get C. That one is wrong. The correct one to use is the current scrap value, which is what 15,000. Now, let us proceed to question 5. To question 4. Question 4 says, on 1st January 1993, ExxonMobil Limited purchased equipment for 18,000 naira. It uses straight line method with an estimated 8 years useful life and a 2,000 naira salvage value. On 31st December 1996, it sells the equipment for 8,000. In recording these sales, it should reflect A 10,000 gain, B 2,000 loss, C 4,000 loss, and D 8,000 gain. Your time begins now. Your time begins now. Your time begins now. You are expected to use 60 seconds. That is 1 minute to resolve this question. Try as much as possible to be fast in all your calculation. My no, seems to. As student of accounting, you must always learn how to do practice, how to do the accounting itself, because practice make perfect. Pairs up Abdul A, Monica B, uh, Kashmir C, who is Momo C, and that is all we can take. Let us mark Abdul A wrong, Monica B correct, Kashmir wrong. What is the problem? Only one candidate got it correctly, three candidates got it wrong. Is this question so difficult? Let us find out why. Now, solution. The cost correction is the cost minus salvage value, as depreciation is C minus S over L, and C is equal to 18,000. S is equal to 2,000 over what the lifespan, which is 8 years. This is equals to 16,000 divided by 8. And 16,000 divided by 8 is equals to what? 2,000. So the depreciation per annum per year is 2,000. And what do they ask us to find? We are going to locate the net book value as at the time of sale to determine whether there was loss or there was gain. Now we begin with the fixed asset schedule in this little way. We have the year, the cost, depreciation, then the accumulated depreciation, then the net book value. Now the net book value, we have 1993, the cost of the asset is 18,000, depreciation for the first year is 2,000, accumulated depreciation is 2,000, while the net book value is 16,000. For the second year, 1994, the cost brought down is 16,000, accumulated depreciation is the same 2,000. Depreciation 2,000, accumulated depreciation is 4,000, net book value is 14,000. Yeah. Then 1995, the net book value brought down is 14,000, depreciation is 2,000, while accumulated depreciation is 6,000, and the net book value becomes 12,000. Good. Now, 1996, the net book value is 12,000. That is the year of sales. The depreciation remained 2,000. Accumulated depreciation become 8,000, and the net book value becomes what? The net book value becomes 10,000. So what are we saying here? This asset was sold at 8,000. Asset whose net book value is 10,000 was sold at 8,000. So there is a loss of 2,000. So there's a loss of 2,000, and B is the correct answer. 2,000 loss. 2,000 loss. 2,000 loss. So it's only now the last question is question 5. It's the simplest question, and you need not to even spend much time in solving this question. The question says, which of the following method of depreciation allocate an equal amount of depreciation each year over the asset's useful life? Your time begins now. Pens up, pens up, submit your work. Kashmir, Kashmir, D. Udoji, for the first time she's submitting D. Momo, D. Abdul, D. And I believe D will be the answer. The answer is what? Straight line method. And D is the answer. D is the answer. And Abdul, D, and all is correct. Now we have come to the end of this tutorial. You should assist us to like our tutorial, share our tutorial, and do not hesitate to inform us if you have any problem in understanding whatever we have just taught. You can WhatsApp us through our WhatsApp number, which is 080 3554 2119. I'll repeat it, 080 3554 2119. Or hit us in the comment section. I will not hesitate to get back to you. Thank you for learning with us. In our next tutorial, which is going to be depreciation part 3, we are going to dwell on uh, the reducing balance method of calculating depreciation. Until then, keep fit. Goodbye.